Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a video discussing 15 things that you can do to get ready for your move to Nova Scotia. I'm working with a lot of out-of-province buyers, and I see a lot on social media and things like that, looking for things that they can do to get ready to move to Nova Scotia. We have a lot of people relocating from out of province, even out of country. So I thought that I would put together this list for you. A little background about myself. I moved here about a year and a half ago from a different province. So I had to go through all of this myself. So I have firsthand experience, and I love working with out-of-province buyers and helping them feel comfortable with their move and the steps that they need to take to get ready to do that. If you see anything in here and you want to add to it, I would love, for you to reach out to me or pop a comment below. I will include as many links as I can in the description below. And I work for Remax Fairlane here in Truro, Nova Scotia. If you are looking to work with a realtor, I would love to hear from you. Whether you want to live in Truro or not, I'm happy to find a referral for somebody, for somebody that's qualified to help you find a new home wherever you want to be. So we'll just hop right in. So the first step is to find a mortgage broker, a lender, contact your bank, and figure out how much you're pre-approved for. Especially when you come from out of province, and if you have a job in another province, you may want to reach out and buy that as a second home. A lot of times you won't get a mortgage if you move here, without a job or with a brand new job. So look into that first, and your mortgage broker will tell you all the steps that you need to take to get pre-approved and ready to buy a house. Then you're going to want to, this is still in step one, I put these two together, you're going to want to find a realtor. So like I said, I would love for you to reach out to me, and I can help you, or I can find somebody who can help you. A lot of us have resources about, buyer's guides that can lay out all the forms and all the steps that you're going to need to take, from land transfer taxes, closing costs, and all of that jazz, and information about our community. So I would love for you to reach out to me, and we can get that started for you. Number two, once you have an accepted offer on a house and you know where you're going, you will want to research moving companies. You can look on Google, you can look through Facebook. There are lots of different options, from U-Haul, Pods, private and franchise moving companies. Some people also choose to buy, an enclosed trailer or a camper where they're living now, and then use that to move and then sell it when they get here. And I've seen lots of great success with that. Another part to part two, maybe we could call this part 2.2, is that you will want to plan your downsizing of your move, of your house contents. So do some research on this end and see, is it worth it for you to sell some of your items where you are, have a garage sale or Kijiji, whatever, and then buy those items on this end? Or should you just hold on to those items and move them? So you have to do research on that. You should also save moving boxes and just start packing little things. Like you can pack, certain linens that you don't use very often. Start eating the food that you have in your house. It's kind of a fun pantry clean-out challenge. Step three is to start joining Facebook groups in the community that you're going to be moving to. There are so many Facebook groups. There's one called New to Nova Scotia, where you might be watching this. Ontario to Nova Scotia. There are also several groups for what you're interested in, from ATVing to, connecting with other parents, childcare, making friends, sports, hobby farming, bird collecting. Like, there's everything. It's a really great way for you to make friends, ask questions, just a really great resource. Number four is get your vehicle ready for an MVI, which is a motor vehicle inspection. I'm going to read off my book a little bit because there's a lot to unpack here. So if you're bringing a vehicle from out of province, get it ready to basically pass an out of province, which in Nova Scotia, we have motor vehicle inspections, and you'll be required to get one every 2 to 3 years, depending on how new your vehicle is. They cost around $25. Yeah, and they last for 2 to 3 years, and then you'll have to get it again in order to, keep driving your vehicle. So you'll have 30 days from entry to Nova Scotia to get that inspection done and registered. And if your vehicle is registered in your name in another province, when you bring it here, you should not have to pay HST on it. If you plan to buy a vehicle here, you'll still have all this stuff, registration and inspection still applies. Sometimes if you buy from a dealership, they'll already have the inspection sticker done, but you'll be required to pay 15% HST on the purchase price of your vehicle or the Canadian Red Book value, whichever amount is greater. If you buy a vehicle and you don't think that the purchase price or the Red Book value accurately reflect the value of the vehicle, then you can get an appraisal done by an approved appraiser, and then you can pay taxes on that value. Number 5 is to research your new community. So you can look up what there is to do, the trails, is there waterfalls, is there beaches, lakes. Lots of ways you can do that is by looking on your new municipality, town, city website or Facebook page. You can also find lots of information here on YouTube. You can look on TikTok. You can search hashtags on Instagram. There's all sorts of ways, like we talked about before, Facebook, but it's really exciting to kind of start connecting, and making plans for your new community. Number 6, I kind of piggybacks a little bit off the last one, but you should start researching extracurricular for yourself or for your children. So do you like to play sports? When is the sign up for that? A lot of them are in the fall, some are in the spring. So just kind of look into that stuff. You should also look into childcare because a lot of facilities have wait lists. So maybe you need to add your children to wait lists. A little interesting fact here in Nova Scotia, if your child turns 4 before December 31st, they can enter a pre-primary program, which is free and it runs the same hours as school. So I'm thinking not all communities have it, but the one where I live does. And where I came from, you had to pay for preschool or pre-primary. So this was a really cool resource. I'll attach a website below that has details about that. Next is number 7. Ticks are prominent here. They may or may not be where you're coming from, but they are pretty serious here. So I feel like you should study up on how to safely remove one, how to identify which type may be carrying Lyme disease, and how long it is attached when you should seek medical help and get antibiotics so that you don't get Lyme disease. So I think it's really important to make sure that you research that. There's also an app called eTick where you can see where, different reports for ticks are, and they'll help you identify the tick that you have. Number 8 is to start researching and asking for recommendations for hairstylists, massage therapists, dentists, things like that. You can ask, on Facebook, or you can do a Google and read reviews, but that's always an important step. Number 10, if you have medical problems or prescriptions that you rely on, it's really important to have a plan for that. So you may be able to get your current doctor to give you, 6 months to a year prescriptions. I would really recommend calling 811 and asking a professional about what your plan should be. The controlled substances are treated a lot differently here in Nova Scotia. It may be a little more difficult. There may be a different protocol for bringing them. So I really encourage you to kind of check in on that beforehand so you can have a plan. You may also be able to request a nurse practitioner while you wait to help you with prescriptions and things like that. Get added to the wait list for a family doctor because that can be several years before you can get one. So yeah, I would really recommend feeling comfortable understanding the rules surrounding your prescriptions and how you're going to be able to get them. Number 11, about a week before you arrive, you should think about making a grocery order. It was vital during COVID that we have this option, and I just feel like it's come in handy so much with clients of mine when they're moving to their new home. They don't want to worry about who's going to go get groceries and what do we need? They want to just be settling in and unpacking. So if you can make a grocery order beforehand and you could have, your realtor or somebody else pick it up and bring it to you, it's super helpful. If you are a meat eater, you could also look into butchers in your new community. There's a lot of farmers, lots of farm to table type stuff. So you could look into that. There's also here in Truro, we have our farmers market. You can even order online. So that's really cool. Number 12 is to research the COVID protocol here at the time that you move. I'm hoping that in 6 months' time, this will not be a thing that we have to do, but Nova Scotia and the Maritime provinces in general have had much stricter rules than other provinces, and sometimes they weren't even allowing people in from out of province at all. So really make sure that you research online and know, if you have to do an application, what kind of forms you have to have. The next step, I don't really know what number I'm at, is to get servicing for your new home. So maybe you need the furnace filter changed. Maybe you have a water system that needs servicing. Handyman services, if you wanted to do some renovations, you could start looking into that and ordering that for when you arrive. You will also want to think about what season are you arriving in. Are you going to need a lawnmower or lawn services ready? Are you going to need a snow blower or snow removal services when you arrive? It's definitely stuff to think about here. The next step, I think, is number 13. You will want to transfer the utilities into your name and any leased equipment. You also want to think about mail forwarding to your new home. Number 14, if you have a valid driver's license in the place that you're coming from, you will need to get it transferred over to Nova Scotia driver's license within 90 days. You can find it online by visiting a website that I'll link below or by visiting an Access Nova Scotia location. And the last step is to think about insurance, auto insurance, home insurance, all that stuff. You can get insurance here in Nova Scotia, but you'll need to have your driver's license first. That's usually what most insurance companies are asking for. And then you will get insurance, and then you will register your vehicle, and then you will have a few days to get your safety inspection. It's a lot of steps. Your new insurance company will also likely ask for a driver's abstract and a letter of recommendation from your past insurance company. So it's just a good idea to kind of get that ready, and then it should be an easy process for you. So I hope that you found these tips useful. If you have anything to add or change, please let me know. I would like to keep this information relevant for you and helpful. I will have lots of links below for you. And like I said, if you're in need of a realtor or even just, some advice, please reach out to me. I love hearing from you guys from out of province. Have a great day. Bye-bye.